In many forms of media, people have created grids with a list of players on them. The best players are worth the most money, while the weaker players are cheaper. And with a budget, the goal is to create the best team possible. I took this idea and brought it over to Cuphead, where the weapons, charms, and supers all have cash value. As I play through the game, my budget will decrease by $5 until I'm left with only $5 for Aisle 3 and Inkwell Hell. This will all be done on expert mode, and once I choose an item, it cannot be chosen again for the rest of the challenge. With all the rules set, the challenge begins as I select my first items for Inkwell Aisle 1. My game plan is I'm not going to be using a lot of the expensive items for the rest of the challenge. So me personally, I want to make the first part of this game the breeze. So I'm going to be taking Roundabout, I think I'm going to take Chaser, and then I'm going to go Coffee. My loadout ended up being Roundabout, Chaser, Smoke Bomb, and Super 1. Having one of the best weapons in the game and combining that with a defensive charm and smoke bomb made a great combo against any boss. Since these were the easiest bosses of the challenge, I was able to clear through the first 3 bosses on my first try. Goopy is the only boss that you shouldn't take any hits on, but you do anyway. That's like quite literally like word for word. Also, yes! Also, yes! What was that? Was that S-rank material, guys? GG's in chat. That's just how we roll. The real challenge came from the plane fight against Hilda Burke. There we go. Meanwhile, Mugman, yeah, we don't care about Mugman. No, you guys care about Mugman. I don't. Damn it! In my opinion, the plane fights are objectively harder than their platform-based counterparts. This is because the projectiles in plane fights cover more of the screen, making it more difficult to survive. Also, the charm Smoke Bomb acts slightly different in plane fights, as it gives a couple of invincibility frames, but not enough to stop long projectiles. My strategy for most plane fights is to always save up for the super and prioritize dealing massive damage. Charge! Charge! After a few failed attempts and a whole lot of patience, I was able to beat this fight. Yes! Yeah! All that was left for Aisle 1 was Cagney Carnation, and unfortunately for this flower, I came prepared. The Roundabout dealt great damage per second, while the Chaser shined at picking off the remaining minions with its 100% accuracy. Are you aiming at? Combine that with the Smoke Bomb for extra defense and flexibility, then you get yourself an amazing fight. Oh ho ho! 1 HP is all I need! Now we got Inkwell Aisle 2. So like I said at the beginning of the video, our budget gets shortened by $5, and on top of that, I can't pick any of the same stuff I picked before. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. We have Grim Matchstick. Grim Matchstick is an absolute pain if you don't have the right weapon equipped, right? We're all in agreements there, right? Lobber is great for the dragon. So because of that, I'm spending $3 already right off the bat. Wally Warbles, in my opinion, is the hardest playing boss on expert mode. Because of Wally Warbles exclusively, I'm going Heart Ring. I'm just going Heart Ring. Heart Ring and Lobber total out to $8, so I got $2 left. So I can either go Pea Shooter or Converge. I'm gonna just go out and say it, I'm taking Converge. I think Converge pairs well with Lobber because of the fire rate it has, plus, spoilers, I want to use Pea Shooter later in the challenge. We now begin Aisle 2 against Baroness Von Bon Bon, and say hello to our favorite 9 to 5 mini-boss, Jawbreaker. What can I say? Who doesn't love a family man? The Lobber, Converge, and Heart Ring combination is great for this fight. You can use Lobber to deal early damage before the mini-bosses come out, and then use Converge to shred through the rest of their HP. Also, since the Converge does piercing shots, it's great at taking care of any minions on the screen, such as the jelly beans or the projectiles from her double-barrel shotgun. The cherry on top is when you're on her final phase where the parryable peppermint wheel comes out, that counts towards the Heart Ring, giving you extra HP in case you're in a pinch. The overall blend of these weapons felt like a scene from Ratatouille, the way each one complemented each other, resulting in a solid win. Thank you! Woo! Our second fight for this aisle is the Genie. The Genie is definitely a formidable foe on expert mode, with many of the phases throwing countless projectiles with their own individual mechanics. Basically, they throw a lot of crap on the screen.
What? What hit me? You know I'm restarting.
But the bomb weapon and great dodging can take care of plenty of the fixes. That and the additional HP we get from Heart Ring gives us many opportunities to recover from taking damage. Overall, the Heart Ring was the safety net that secured myself the win.
Oh, yo, GG's, first try.
Up next is Beppy the Clown, and if it wasn't for Heart Ring, I would have picked Weight Stone, as it can be very useful to deal consistent damage against this fight. However, the combination of Lobber and Converge worked well enough for this boss, as I could use Converge to shred through his HP and follow it up with an EX from the Lobber.
Boom! I blasted in his face. Pause!
I did not fully optimize the Heart Ring, as the balloon animals on the second phase are typically the only time I consistently parry. Even so, both Lobber and Converge were more than enough to beat this fight.
There we go. Okay, get rid of him. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is good. This is raps. No! Why did you quote that? You! I won, guys. I won, but at what cost?
Wally Warbles was our next boss, and I was hungry for some chicken.
Alright, here we go. We got Big Bird. We got Big Bird in the Big Bird house. Guess what? This Big Bird's about to die. I'm sorry, guys. I'm about to make some chicken today. About to make some Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Wally Warbles was the main reason why I chose the Heart Ring for this item. The eggs on the first phase and the feathers on the second phase can tear through all of your HP, and that's not including the Megamind baby on the third phase. Having the safety net of a possible 3 HP allowed for minor mistakes without the need for restarting the fight.
You guys want to see something cool? I'm going in, coach! I'm going in! Damn it!
Overall, Heart Ring carried me through this fight and was the sole reason why I beat it first try.
Okay, weave that, move down here, parry that, I parried that, and it doesn't matter. First try. First try, baby.
Grim Matchstick is the final boss for Aisle 2, and this is a perfect example of having the right weapons equipped. While any weapon can be used to beat a boss in this game, there are some weapons that objectively suck at some bosses. I'm looking at you, Sprite Shot. On the other side of the coin, some weapons work tremendously well under specific conditions. In this contest, Lobber works great on platform-based levels, and in my opinion, Lobber is the best weapon to use against Grim Matchstick, as it provides amazing DPS against a tanky dragon. The fact that I spent $3 on Lobber proved to be the right choice, as I beat this dragon on the first try.
And speaking of journeys, Grim Matchstick's journey is about to come to an end real soon. You want to know why? Cause of Cuphead, baby. Come on. GG's. 5 HP. And the flex. Ooh.
Now we move on to Inkwell Aisle 3, where I only have $5 in my budget. With a small budget and limited options, I chose my new loadout.
Phantom Express is going to be a pain in the ass if I don't have a versatile weapon. And so I want to pick the most simplistic yet versatile weapon in the game. Simplistic and versatile? Give me Pea Shooter for $2. I got $3 left. You think I'm going to pick Twist Up? You think I'm going to pick Coffee? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pick the most underrated super in the entire game. I'm picking Super number 3. We're doing no charms, baby!
Pea Shooter was my choice of weapon, with the unexpected selection of Super 3. The first boss for Inkwell Aisle 3 is Rumor Honeybottoms, as me and my chat are ready to drown the queen.
Drown the queen! Drown the queen! Oh, I'm getting hit.
Rumor Honeybottoms has many unique transformations that can be overwhelming for new players, such as the bullet she fires, or her final transformation where she turns into a plane, for some odd reason. One thing I have noticed is that with the right weapons, there are many situations where you can stand still for a few seconds without getting hit. Because of this, I was able to control my EX to deal massive damage. Well, sort of.
I'm gonna lunge to the other side here real quick. I need you to fight! Get up here! No! Super! Why'd you leave me? I needed you!
How could this happen to me? Besides this one setback, I had more than enough HP to finish the job, beating it on the first try.
Oh, almost got hit there again. And there we go! Drown the queen! First try, baby!
Venom Vermin is the next boss in this challenge, and he showed a weakness in our loadout. The third super for Cuphead and Mugman is a high-risk, high-reward weapon, where it can do an insane amount of damage, but you have to control both the super and the characters, as Cuphead and Mugman are still susceptible to taking damage while the super is active. In this context, I used the super to deal massive damage, but once it ended, I was put in a rough situation. The massive damage it dealt from using the super twice was enough to barely survive the fight, with a interesting finish.
Come on! That's all I needed! Go! Why did it go the other direction?
Captain Brinybeard is a boss that can easily overwhelm Cuphead with this loadout, but the third super is the secret weapon to beat this fight. Super 3 is, in my opinion, the most slept-on super in the game. In this situation, there is a boss that isn't moving, which is a great opportunity to use this super. The catch is, of course, you still need to dodge the plethora of projectiles being thrown at you while using this super. If you can time the super when there isn't too many projectiles on the screen, or the phase when the octopus appears, it makes it a little more easier to use this super. It took a few minutes, but I was able to overcome this fight.
Close again. GG's early. Thank you, bro. Thank you for the early GG's! Let's go!
Calamaria is our first plane boss in Aisle 3, which will be more difficult than usual since I don't have a charm. Luckily for me though, this is my favorite fight, so I've been on this phase many times.
Hold on, wait! Boom! Come on, right in the face. There we go, team. That's all we need.
The main problem for this fight is the Medusa phase, where the eels start spawning like no tomorrow. With each eel spawning multiple projectiles, and Medusa occasionally turning me into stone, it's entirely possible to lose all of your HP just on this phase. However, I was better than that. I was not going to get embarrassed on my stream.
You just gotta lock in. We all just gotta, duck our heads, avoid her gaze, and oh my...
So I locked in and beat the mermaid on the first try.
I was monologuing, and you tried to kill me. How dare you?
When going into the fight against Dr. Cal, I thought this was going to be the hardest fight for this challenge. The third phase is known for being tanky, with projectiles that can overwhelm anyone, with the first phase being no easy task either. Because of this, I came up with a plan.
Okay, going up top. Boom, there we go. Perfect. I'll get rid of the bomb early. Perfect. Okay, there we go. Now we got the heart. You dissect it. That's the key to win this fight. You dissect each spot piece by piece. You got to use an EX. You can easily grind EXs. Don't be afraid to use your supers early.
All that was left was surviving the hellish third phase. It took a few minutes, but in the end, I was able to burn the robot.
How much HP does this stupid guy have, bro? Thank you. Bah, 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 bah. I can just imagine myself slapping the scientist right now. Just bah, bah, bah.
Sally's stage play is usually a boss I beat pretty easily, but today I kept taking stupid hits from her.
Oh my gosh, that greedy... She went for that extra hit. Did you see that?
Even with these setbacks, my plan remained the same. The second phase is the hardest part of this fight, so I used my super and all my EXs I gained on this phase in order to move on as fast as possible.
Oh crap. Oh, let's go!
Because of all the stupid hits I was taking, this fight took way longer than I wanted. But in the end, the result remained the same. Roll the curtains!
GG's early, thank you, GG007. Yeah, I can read while doing this crap. I'm just blah 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 better. Better!
Phantom Express is the final boss for Inkwell Aisle 3, and Pea Shooter is one of the best weapons for this fight. Its high fire rate makes it so the eyeballs don't overwhelm Cuphead on the first phase. For the rest of the phases, the Pea Shooter can reach all targets, dealing consistent damage. This and the amazing use of the super on the final phase resulted in an overwhelming victory for me and Cuphead.
We gotta do it! Come on guys! Lend me your energy, GG's in chat! GG's in chat!
On to the final section for this challenge, Inkwell Hell. With barely any options left, I decided my final loadout.
$5. King dice and the devil. Let me tell you guys what I'm gonna do. I'm taking Spread Shot. And with $1 left, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off with a very interesting combination. Spread Shot and Weight Stone. That's gonna be our last group here.
My final loadout is Spread Shot as my primary source of damage, with Weight Stone being my secondary option. For many people, this may seem difficult since Spread Shot is controversial for its high damage but very low range. My problem with these fights would be getting close to the targets to deal consistent damage. Luckily for me, King Dice has minions that are easy to approach, which would be the alcohol from the first mini-boss and the iconic 8-ball. I ended up choosing the Skeleton Horse as the other mini-boss since it's a plane fight, which means I don't have to worry about Spread Shot. With all this information at my disposal, I was able to destroy King Dice with a perfect score.
Anyway, you're done, bro. You're cooked. Jeez, good sir.
The only thing that stood between me and victory was the devil himself. With everything on the line, it was do or die. It was at this moment that I knew what I needed to do.
Come on now. Use the duck. Alright, let me find the duck hat.
After I put on the signature duck hat, I knew that this challenge was over. I came a long way using all the resources at my disposal to create the ideal Cuphead loadout. I let the duck hat take charge as it shredded through the devil's HP with a combination of both Spread Shot and Weight Stone. It was only a matter of time until the devil was overwhelming me, dealing blow after blow, but come on, we all knew how this was gonna end.
This is it, do or die. Yes! First try! The duck hat never fails!
This was overall a fun challenge that encouraged me to use resources that I'm not used to using. I invite anyone out there to try this challenge themselves and to let me know how it went. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like me to do a sequel where I take on the DLC. Until next time.